Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. And with a welcome offer of 150,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership, your business can soar to new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Everyone who works at Starbucks, full or part-time, gets stock in our company. Which means that when Starbucks succeeds, our people do too. At Starbucks, benefits like company stock are just the start.
Hey, I'm Candice Lim.
And I'm Kate Lindsay, and you're listening to ICYMI.
In case you missed it,
Slate's podcast about internet culture. And Candice, I know we normally start these episodes with some type of, catching up on our weekend or riffing on something, but I just think that's a waste of time because, let's be real, there is only one thing that you and I and everyone else wants to talk about right now, and that is the Coldplay cheating scandal.
Yes, this drama involves Andy Byron, the CEO of this AI software company called Astronomer, Kristen Cabot, the company's chief people officer, and Chris Martin, the lead singer of Coldplay. Let's run the clip.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Okay, so yes, that is from a Coldplay concert last week in Massachusetts. And what's happening is so this tour has been happening for a while. It's a world tour. And they do this little bit where they want to say hi to the audience. And so they have, like when you're at like a baseball game and there's like the kiss cam or whatever, they basically have their own version of that where they surprise people in the audience by suddenly they're on this Jumbotron. And so he's going around doing this, and what we just heard was the camera cuts to Andy and Kristen. They're kind of entwined, like he has his arms around her. Yep. As soon as they're on screen, like in front of the entire stadium, they dive apart. Like it couldn't be faster. Like he drops her like a hot potato and leaves, and then she is like standing there, and then she eventually turns away. And so it's like a really uncomfortable moment. Like the people around them, well, some of them are oblivious, but like there's one woman who clearly is like, oh, yikes, like bad vibes all around. We hear Chris Martin joke that maybe they're having an affair. It turns out that is exactly the case. So it is unclear if Kristen Cabot is married, but Andy Byron most certainly is.
And I mean, the speed unto which this clip became headlining news, the concert happened on a Wednesday night. Thursday morning, everyone knows about it. Friday, Astronomer, the company they allegedly both work for, they announced they're launching an investigation to see what's really going on. That same day, they announce Andy's on leave, the CEO. They've replaced him with some interim. Saturday, Andy CEO resigns.
On a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, people have been saying, and I also tend to have this thought when I watch, I'm like, if you guys had just been normal, we all wouldn't have been like, what the hell is going on here? We wouldn't have felt the need to look into it and dig everything up. But do you agree? Do you think there's a way they could have gotten away with this?
Sadly, no. I hear people when they say oh my God, if she didn't duck and he didn't kind of run away, they totally would have gotten away with it. Here's the thing. I think we need to do a little body language read. Okay, let's pull up the tape. Here we go. When Andy is behind her, hugging her, his arms are around her, but their fingers, they're intertwined. They're locked in. That's love. Oh, that's love.
Right, this isn't just a summer fling. No. Unfortunately, it's true love.
No, it's love. And then the other thing I kind of find extremely interesting, camera pans to them. We all know this, all kiss cams, especially like when you were seeing like Charlie XCX do the Apple dance and stuff. They always have this delay, right?
Yeah.
And so like the delay happens, you catch them, she ducks immediately. And he's a little bit hesitant. He's like 1 second behind of like, oh, what's going on? I'm just out here having an affair. And then he ducks. And to me, I'm just kind of like, the reason why I don't think they could have gotten away with this is because they work in Boston. They live in Boston. This was at Gillette Stadium in the greater Boston area. I think even if this did not go TikTok viral, I really believe someone in the audience would have been like, hold on a second. My mom's best friend works with that woman. Hold on a second.
Right. Like, or, oh, that's my boss. Yeah.
Right. My dad goes golfing with that guy. What the heck? And then it would have been this like local story that would have ended the way it ended. But I mean, I don't know. I just have to say, real PSA. If you're going to cheat, number one, do it out of state. Do it out of state. Okay, like ballers do. And in fact, do it like the Try Guys do. Okay, he took her to a Harry Styles concert in New York. They're LA based. You got to go out.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't think there's any world in which, unless the camera never panned to them, they're getting found out and his marriage is ending. Right. I think it was a question between like, is this going to be a sort of public to your sort of immediate and peripheral circle breakup, or is this going to be public in front of the entire world? And I think that's the difference. Like, if they had just held their own, that would have reduced sort of the blast radius to just their immediate, like, friends, family, community. And maybe he would have still gotten fired, but we wouldn't all know about it. But this is the difference, is they just reacted in a way that was so tantalizing and so obviously exactly what it was. I think that is what made it the difference between sort of a public, but within their immediate friends, family, and acquaintances circle and the entire world. He would have gotten fired either way, but like he wouldn't have had to delete his LinkedIn, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But, you know, hindsight, it's 2020, because now this has become not only national, it's an international incident. It's all over TikTok. I want to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about why exactly this moment went so viral and all the memes that came out of it.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. You know what doesn't belong in epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. That's why you should switch to Mint Mobile. I love the quality of Mint Mobile's wireless service. In comparison to my old provider, I make a lot of calls to and from work, and they never drop. And I'm saving so much with Mint Mobile. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/ICYMI. That's mintmobile.com/ICYMI. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Everyone can use a little help to shape the direction of their lives, from fitness routines to mental resilience or navigating personal goals to tackling burnout. That's what the Life Kit podcast from NPR is here to do. If you're looking to move with more intention or just need thoughtful guidance on living better, Life Kit delivers strategies to help you make meaningful, sustainable change. Life Kit offers real stories, relevant insights, and clear takeaways to help you meet those large and small decision-making moments with confidence and clarity. Trusted voices and expert advice can help take you to the next step, however big or small. Listen to Life Kit to hear thoughtful conversations that unpack the emotional and practical side of personal wellness, along with actionable guidance you can actually use. No fluff, no judgment. Get help tackling common issues like relationships, finances, parenting, and your career. Then walk away with a game plan you can implement right away. Life Kit isn't just another podcast about self-improvement. It's about understanding how to live a little better starting now. Listen now to the Life Kit podcast from NPR.
And this is why everybody and their mama are advocates for fully remote work, because you got CEOs whoring in broad daylight.
If your founder is not grinding with your chief people officer while listening to Coldplay live, what kind of company culture are you even building?
Who the fuck brings their side piece to a Coldplay concert? You keep your infidelity away from my Viva La Vida.
And we're back. And what you just heard were clips of some of my favorite content to come from this moment.
Yeah, it does feel like every year we have one of these moments, like monocultural. Everyone knows about it. Like my mom texted me about this. That's how I knew. That's, I would say that the other events that fall into this category are like Luigi and the submersible implosion. It's like if I sit down and the first thing I want to talk about with my friends is not myself, but this sort of topic, that's how you know it's big. I'd rather talk about that. So I would say this is definitely 2025's big monocultural moment, at least so far.
I agree. I mean, another big one that happened actually a year ago, Kate Middleton. Remember that? Remember when she was like a little missing? That moment was so interesting. Definitely hit monocultural levels. It was international. We actually did an episode with the Never Post podcast about that, where we kind of laid out like the 5 tenets of a monocultural internet moment. And I have some good news, which is that I do think this incident, Coldplay Gate, some are calling it, I think we can think of a better name. But this incident, I think it's hitting the 5 tenets. Can I go through them and you kind of like help me fill out the Q&A?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. First tenet of a monocultural internet moment. There must be an information gap or an info vacuum. This is kind of when you know very little details about what has happened, but there's like still not enough to fully satiate your curiosity. And so low-key, your brain just starts filling stuff in. And also the internet is so vast, full of misinformation, regular information, boring information, that you kind of just start filling in the sandwich just because you want to, you know?
Well, yeah, it like kind of, the moment itself, I mean, it's so short. And all it is 2 people appearing on camera and then diving away from each other. I mean, that in itself asks a question. And, we all made the assumption. And I think there was, the information gap, but then there was the satisfaction when our assumption was correct. Like, that's really pleasing.
Yeah, I think also Chris Martin, LOL, also played a hand in this narrative because he really didn't think they were having an affair. He didn't think this was anything serious, but he put the pin in the grenade. We just had to pull it. And now it is the narrative. And I would also say that, like, the thing about this incident is that up till the moment of this taping, we actually have not heard any statements like directly from the people involved in that clip. And I think the more time that passes, the more hours that pass where they don't say something, we say something. And it just doesn't matter what the real story is. The internet, the people on this call, like, we've ran with our own narrative of what we really think's going on, and it's on TikTok and it's rampant.
By the way, I will say what happened with Chris Martin making a joke about them having an affair and it being true is the exact form that my OCD takes in terms of like dramatic irony, where it's like, oh, I'll joke like I can never text a friend if they haven't responded, like, are you dead? Like, I'll start it and then I'm like, no, because then they're dead and then it's the last thing I sent them. So
right.
I don't know, Chris, if that is something that starts happening for you, reach out. I actually have a worksheet on my phone that I use. So
a template. It's selling it.
It's called trusting in yourself. So yeah, hit me up.
Next tenet. We need clear, recognizable characters. Do we have these, Kate?
Yes. I mean, I can't say I knew who Andy Byron or Kristen Cavett were, but I certainly know who Chris Martin is. And I also can fill in, like you were saying about filling in the blanks. Like, when I see those 2 people and the behavior, it's like, I know who they are as like a caricature.
Mhm.
And so for like, it's still familiar to me, even if I don't, the name Andy Byron doesn't ring a bell.
Right. I mean, I think the funniest thing is this is probably the best PR Chris Martin has gotten in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I can't say this is the best PR Astronomer has ever gotten, but the fact that I didn't hear of them till now.
I know. I'm no closer to knowing what it is they do. I've tried reading multiple things about this, but at least, I refer to the scandal as like the Astronomer Coldplay deal. Like, they haven't had that keyword strength in years. The fact that Astronomer, when I search it, is going to bring up this scandal in that company before it brings up like an actual astronomer is, that's a win for them.
Exactly. I think what's really funny about the Chris Martin of it all is like he is so adjacent to the crime, and yet he's probably the first keyword, or Coldplay is the first keyword people think of. It's very Dave Matthews dumping their waste in the Chicago River.
Yeah. No, when I was thinking about this, I was like, oh, his PR team is going to be like, this moment is going to be on every end of year roundup, which means Coldplay is going to appear on every end of year roundup. And if you Google from this moment forward, Chris Martin 2025, it is not going to be his breakup with Dakota Johnson that comes up. It's going to be this. I mean, this does wonders for Coldplay, who I'll be honest, I was not thinking about and was no closer to understanding who they were, as was the case with Astronomer.
Exactly. And so we go to our third tenet, which is related, which is who are the perpetrators? Now, there are a lot of monocultural moments where the perpetrator is either the subject themselves or it's a bit unclear. In the Kate Middleton example, the royal family was a possible perpetrator because there were some questions of maybe they did something to disappear her. However, most of the times, a perfect perpetrator is a rich person.
Yes.
Because we love nothing more than eating the rich. And so, I would like to ask your thoughts on just like them being rich, them being executives. Does that play into this?
Oh, for sure. I think, if it were anyone else and I was watching anyone else's life get blown up to this degree online, I would have a shred of like sympathy.
Sure.
But everything about this is kind of like, if you're someone who is really against power being like concentrated in the 1% or really against like corporate culture, this just affirms that dislike because it's like, oh, the people who are making so much more money than me and telling me like what's right and wrong and what I should be doing are out here at a Coldplay concert having a full-on affair on the Jumbotron. Like, that feels really nice. And I think it shows that the people who are supposed to have this like deference to and who are in charge of like our healthcare and our livelihood and just like it's like, oh no, we've been expected to believe up until this point that something makes them like really smart or adept at having this level of power. And then it's like, no, like any one of us could make this mistake. And especially in the case of these two, it like directly reflects on their jobs and their roles in that company to be engaging in this behavior.
Exactly. I think, first off, I know there's someone out there going like, okay, but she's actually only the chief of people, therefore he's her boss, therefore there's a power dynamic. All I'm going to say is these are the type of people who took pay cuts during season 1 of COVID, okay? Who's out there?
And then they went right back up.
Exactly. Second, I do think that if these were two, like, even middle management, even lower level employees, look, I think some people would still clown on them for, like, airing out their business like this. But I do think some people would be like, oh, my God, they're Jim and Pam. Oh, my God, slow burn. Like, there would actually be some, like, romanticization of it.
Yeah, I think it would be like, we'd be, like, aghast, but in kind of a fun way. Like, oh, my God, drama. But this... I mean, obviously this is fun, but there's a layer to it where like it's fun, but we're not sympathetic.
Right. I also think it is the lack of relatability that is making people get involved, right? Because how many people are looking at this and going, this happened to me. zero.
Mhm,
I
right.
hope zero. Or although some people might be and just not saying it. But the thing is, I think the distance between us and them is important in kind of castrating them and punching up. I mean, this is how people felt about OceanGate, right? This idea that, like, who can pay $250,000 to go into the ocean for 2 hours? Not me. Therefore, I feel a lot more entitled to, like, really cast them as villains in their own story.
And the stakes are lower. Like, the two sort of examples we like in this too of, like, Luigi and the United CEO and then the submersible, they died in that and we still had this sense of humor about it. Like, this is a bit more fun. Like, no one's dead. Like, everyone's just behaving badly. And so I think that's another reason why it's even easier to just kind of gawk at it and not feel any kind of remorse.
Right. Which takes us into our next tenet, which is, are they stuck inside something? Now, this...
I love knowing how that was worded to make sure it included the submersible moment.
Right. So first off, submersible, right? They were stuck in the little Titan thing. Another big monocultural moment. Remember Suez Canal? Big boat stuck
literally
in little...
stuck. Yeah.
That's one of them. I'm also going to say... Remember when the 13 soccer players were stuck in the Thai cave?
Oh my God, yeah. People getting stuck is tale as old as time.
Yeah. And so, Kate, in this instance, do we think these people are stuck inside something?
Well, yes, I think actually, like, if we have to expand our definition of stuck to be a little bit more metaphorical for this, but they're stuck in that frame of, like, it holds on them for a while. And, like, we're staring at them. They literally duck out of it, but they don't escape. So you just see their little butts in the air.
Yeah.
Well, they are like, oh my God, are we off camera? Like, and I'm like, you know, if I was that camera operator, I'd be like, I interrupted something, let's move on. But they hold it. They are like, let's sit in this discomfort. Much like my therapist when I talk about my OCD.
I would also say in this case, I do think there's two things these people are stuck inside of. Number one, Gillette Stadium. And number two, their marriages.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're stuck in so many ways. It's, again, everything about this just comes together to be like just the most perfect little bit of news.
Right. Yeah. And now we come to our last tenet. This one's a little murky, so I'm going to need your help to figure it out for me, which is there an inflection point into tragedy? Now, with OceanGate, kind of obvious, they imploded. But it took so long for us to verify unto which they imploded, right? For Kate Middleton, there also was the inflection point unto which she had to announce that she was actually undergoing chemotherapy. And I will also say... there are bonus points if Elon Musk is involved. I'm going to tell you right now, he did get involved. But first, do you think there's an inflection point into tragedy here?
Wait, Elon Musk gets involved in this saga?
Yeah. So basically, someone posted on Twitter a fake statement from Andy. It's a fake statement. Elon replies, crying, laughing emoji.
Wow. I thought you were going to say he's offering this man a job at like X or whatever, because I do see that pipeline happening, by the way. But I would say, yeah, in terms of tragedy, yeah, I do. And I do think I come with this, well, again, OCD, come with this level of like, knock on wood, like, let's hope this stays fun to laugh about, because like the Kate Middleton thing is a perfect example of everyone having to go back and delete all their jokes. And so I'm trying to keep that in mind. But I mean, I do feel bad for people in this scenario, but it's obviously their spouses and their family and the people who have been dragged into this unwittingly. Like, what a horrible way to find out that your husband is being unfaithful or that your dad is being unfaithful. And not only that, like, you literally can't even go on the internet with like, you know, like, oh, let me just distract myself and go on TikTok. It's every other video. So like, that's who I feel bad for, because I mean, not only are they witnessing it, but in many cases, and we'll get to it later, getting kind of dragged into it that they didn't ask for. Like, they didn't commit any sin to be having people look them up on Facebook or try and find them on Instagram.
I would say, a genuine question. If you worked at Astronomer right now, do you think this would boost or decline your morale?
Oh my God, boost it, at least like temporarily. Like, I mean, that's the big joke that everyone was making is like,
yeah.
I just think given the roles that both of these people had, you know, CEO or head of HR, you for sure had interactions with them that make this turn of events a little bit satisfying, I have to imagine, either from afar or up close. But also just like, it's one of those things where it's like everyone's talking about it outside, but on the inside, probably no one's actually saying anything because they can't. So there's that like little buzz of tension.
Right.
And people like doing individual Teams messages because it just, you know it's on Teams. I don't think they have Slack. Or like, I just think, I mean, that is such fodder for the most fun conversation you're going to have working at an AI software company.
I know. I mean, this is one of those moments where you do wish there was a return to office because you're like, yeah, actually, I would love everyone to return to office. Interesting.
Yes.
No, it's funny because like that was one of the big TikToks I kept seeing, people being like, oh my God, I would pay $1 million to see what your guys' Slack channels are like today, to see like what everyone's doing and responding to the how was your weekend question. But I do think from an employee standpoint, this is like kind of very like rich people's problems. But an interesting piece of reporting is that in May, so like literally 2 months ago, Astronomer did raise $93 million. Andy Byron was very proud of it in their statement. And a part of me was kind of like, you look at him as their leader who's just raised all this money and kind of, I could see investors kind of being like, oh my God, you've brought scandal to the company. You've just like taken my money. I don't know if people, and to be really honest, I actually don't care about Astronomer. Hey, hot take, wasn't using their company, still not going to.
Yeah.
But I'm lying because there is one inflection point of tragedy I have not brought up yet, which is the fact that when this scandal happened, both of their LinkedIns, flooded like a TikTok comment section. And guess what? They deleted them. They deleted their LinkedIns.
I mean, this is what's beautiful about it to me is that, there's like Twitter drama, TikTok drama, but this is such a concentrated, like, yes, we're talking about it everywhere, but like in actuality, this drama belongs to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, like, when was the last time it was like, oh, I wonder what's going on with this viral internet drama? Let me check LinkedIn. We've never said that before. But now it's like, okay, so they deleted their profiles. And like, the scandal itself is CEO, HR manager, PR crisis, company ethics debate. I mean, it's all LinkedIn bait. And a lot of the Astronomer itself is releasing all of its statements on LinkedIn. They have turned off comments, which coward move. I want to do the discourse. But then if you look at like the reposts, people are like engaging with it and playing with it. Some people are committing the LinkedIn sin of like trying to turn everything into like a lesson.
Oh my God.
And so like, the initial statement that they posted was about how the board of directors is doing a formal investigation. And then someone like reposted it or like, I only know the term for Twitter.
Sure.
The Twitter term would be quote tweet. I don't know what it's called on LinkedIn. They wrote, Astronomer has a leadership and PR crisis. But if I were on their GTM or board team, I'd be asking, how do we turn 72 hours of bad press into 6 months of qualified pipeline? None of that means anything to me and it shouldn't to anyone else. But that's amazing. It is amazing that like even in this moment of like very clear-cut, salacious drama, they're like, no, I'm still LinkedIn pilled and I'm still going to talk about it like this. And it's okay that they do because, like, that's their house. We, like, like, I don't want to see them posting, like, Twitter. I want to see what LinkedIn makes of this, and it's a lot of fun, and I really recommend everyone go check it out.
Exactly. And no offense, but, like, some LinkedIn demons, they're just on top of the ball because there's a good chance 2 roles really high up in that company are about to open up. Okay, send those
and they're gonna look to see if you were riffing on social media about this scandal before they hire anyone.
Exactly.
Although I can say there's a lot more background checks it's clear they need to be doing to their employees. But
but that's such a good example of how people are really taking this and running with it. However, with creativity comes the opportunity for misinformation. And the internet does feel entitled to these people who, like, yes, they did sin in public, but they didn't necessarily ask for their privacy or their family's privacy to be litigated online for days and, like, maybe weeks to come.
So let's take a break. When we come back, should cheating executives be punished professionally for their personal mistakes? And we'll debunk some of the biggest reaction videos that have come out in this whole literal and figurative affair.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states and situations.
Your local Benjamin Moore retailer is more than a paint expert. They're someone with paint in their soul. A sixth sense honed over decades. And if you have a question about paint, it's almost as if they can read your mind.
I sense you need a 2-inch angle brush for the trim in your family room. Regal selected an eggshell finish and directions to the post office.
Benjamin Moore paint is only sold at locally owned stores. Benjamin Moore. See the love.
Hey there. Do you love cults, live streams, and chicken parmesan? Well, you'll love our upcoming book club episode about Leah Satili's Blazing Eyes Sees All. And this bonus episode will be available in your feed this Saturday if you're subscribed to Slate Plus. For those of you who already are members, thank you so much. We can't make this show and all the Slate podcasts you love without the support of our Slate Plus members. If you're not a member yet, you can subscribe now on Apple Podcasts by clicking Try Free at the top of our show page, or visit slate.com/ICYMI Plus to get access wherever you listen.
And we're back. And while it feels like everyone online is talking about this controversy, not everyone is telling the truth.
Yeah, like from the beginning, there was misinformation, not even including the potential deceit that was going on with each other's partners. So the first piece of misinformation that came out was about who the brunette woman next to them is. So she's kind of an interesting character. I wouldn't say just as much as they are, but definitely right below it, because she is making this face that really also seems to be communicating, oh my God, this is bad. The camera is on two people having an affair. Like, it's unclear. We don't know anything. We don't know who she is, but she does appear like perhaps she knows this, what's going on here and why this is bad. So people, I guess, were trying to figure out her identity and ended up misidentifying her, which is like a common thing that can happen in these viral moments, because they misidentified her as a real person named Alyssa Stoddard, who is Astronomer's senior director of people, which means she would have worked with Kristen.
Yeah, and people were kind of going through her timeline on LinkedIn, Kristen's timeline, and they found this post that was like, congrats to Alyssa for getting promoted. And they were like, huh, I wonder why she was promoted. You know,
right. Yeah, like really conspiracy brained. But when Astronomer released their first statement about all of this, they made sure to emphasize that Alyssa Stoddard was not at the event and no other employees were in the video. So that was part of the statement. And then they also say Andy Byron has not put out any statement, and reports saying otherwise are all incorrect.
Because there are so many fake statements. And like, look, we have to admit, some of them got us as well, but we're here to debunk it, okay? So first off, there was a fake statement from Andy Byron that I saw where he wrote allegedly, in quotes, this. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake, playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. And this is when I should have known it was fake, all right? Because this person ends the statement by saying, as a friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Come on.
Yeah, that's like a clipped version of the statement. It's super long.
Also, I'm not going to lie. If that was a real statement and I'm Chris Martin sitting in my Coldplay house, the first thing I'm saying is like, cease and desist, I'm not your friend. However, the fake statements, they continue, okay? There was this fake statement allegedly from his wife kind of circulating that said, there are people trying to take advantage of what I'm going through, spreading lies, writing things that are cruel and unfair. I'm doing my best to protect my space and stay positive, she continues, but it's not easy and it hurts.
That's actually kind of ironic that it's someone, I mean, literally spelling out exactly what they're doing, which is taking advantage of what she's going through to spread lies. Because, that was debunked by Men's Journal. They took a look at, because her original Facebook page is gone, and they took a look and saw that the Facebook page this came from was brand new, which is always a telltale sign. So that's fake too. She also hasn't said anything.
There's so many people trying to capitalize off of this by claiming to be connected to it or the people involved when they're literally not. I think one we both saw was from a fake former employee named Alex Cohen, who wrote this thing on Twitter saying, "I was fired from Astronomer today. I ran our company's events team. Turns out our CEO and head of HR were having an affair and got caught at the Coldplay concert that I bought the company tickets to."
I mean,
I know, right? First off, company card. Second, they blamed me for getting caught and fired me on the spot, taking some time to reflect, and we'll start looking for jobs soon. Okay.
I mean, that's one that the people who believe that, I'm come on. You need to work that brain cell harder. No one would ever post like that if they actually got fired.
There's another one where another woman on TikTok claimed to be an employee, but she was just really advertising Polymarket.
Yeah, she was claiming to show slacks. She's and being this is what's happening in the Slack. And it was the slacks were so weird. They were literally the most stilted, wow, today was a weird day for our CEO. It's again, that's not real. But all the commenters think it is. It's really driving me nuts, which is why we're doing this whole segment to just be not real, not real.
Right.
There's another sort of phenomenon that's happening is people on TikTok claiming to be Andy Byron's kids.
I saw this.
So there's a post that claimed to be from Andy Byron's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It was a video of a woman warming her hands at the fire, and the text over it is just about being the daughter of the CEO. But what they actually did, this account, was just take a video posted by another creator named Julie Tuzet, and they just put text over it. So they just ripped the video for their own and basically pretended it was theirs and pretended she was saying this. And Julie spoke out about this on her actual TikTok account.
Guys, I am not the CEO's daughter. You probably have seen this video of me at a fireplace reconnecting with nature. It's just someone who stole my videos and my content from TikTok to create this fake news, and it's going viral.
So much disinformation is going around about this, in a way that feels I don't know, unprecedented. And my question when I see this stuff is it's kind of funny, but the people who are sitting down and being I'm going to pretend to be an employee, or I'm going to pretend to be the son, or I'm going to doctor a fake statement and put it out, what are they gaining from misinformation? Do you have any thoughts about why is it that someone would feel drawn to do this?
First off, followers and attention. I think the one thing about a monocultural moment is that there are now virtually 1 million angles and entry points unto which you can attach yourself and capitalize off of that. Even if you don't work at Astronomer, even if you don't live in Boston, the fact that we're talking about it is we're all trying to kind of get our claws into this pot of money, the money being TikTok attention.
Yeah, and it's really difficult for me to talk about it because that's also my dad.
Wait, that's crazy because that's actually my mom. Oh my God, is this
Candice.
The Parent Trap?
Oh my God, are you my sister?
Yeah, but I'm really glad you brought up the Julie Tuzet, Andy Byron's daughter example, because what I'm also reading is that account that pretended to be her, who claimed to be Andy's daughter, they actually stole this girl's video. And on top of that, the whole time, their account was used to promote some meditation app.
Yeah, so that was the case. There was, in the case of the daughter video, and then also the video of the woman claiming to work there and showing those obviously fake slacks.
Right.
In those cases, they were doing advertising in a way that I have to imagine is against the rules because they are straight up lying.
Right.
But, in the case of the video where she was showing the Slack messages, that was all to get people to go start betting on this. And then in the case of, the fake video of the daughter, they were, the videos were also longer than a minute, which if you have enough followers and are on TikTok makes you eligible to earn money from the videos.
Right.
And it's actually something the woman who originally posted the video didn't have access to. And now she's super bummed because it has over 122 million views and she's not getting any money from it.
Yeah.
But that's why someone would, rip a video from a totally different creator and just straight up lie is because they can earn attention off of it.
I think another reason why this is a monocultural internet moment is because the side to be on is obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing anyone defending them. I'm really not.
Yeah.
But I am starting to see this small thread of sympathy about should these two people be professionally punished, right? So, like, should he have had to resign? Should she be punished some way? Should their career suffer for this? What do you think?
Yeah, so this is interesting. I think of someone like West Elm Caleb.
Sure.
Where he was also doing shitty dating behavior. And people were advocating, West Elm's comments were riddled, people wanting West Elm to fire him. Him ghosting women had nothing to do with his job at West Elm. And I don't think there's any reason to advocate to get someone fired over ghosting women a bunch. Like, if that was a crime when you're in your 20s, lock me up for ghosting men. Like, yeah. So that's one, that is normally my view on this, is what I'm saying. But I would say in this specific scenario, what they're doing is a direct reflection on their jobs. And so the head of HR having an affair with the CEO, like, HR is ostensibly there to enforce that type of boundary crossing not happening. And so to have the person who is in charge of enforcing company culture and ethics be behaving in a way that for the most part goes against most companies' culture and ethics, like understood guidelines, that makes her authority hard to listen to. So that's, not a great sign for her job. And for him, he's the person making all the big decisions for the company. And yet he is making publicly a really poor, misguided one in front of the world. And so in this case, I think it's understandable that they would not be seen as the people fit for these roles anymore.
I'm seeing a few TikToks of people being like, these are the people that want you to return to office. And they're kind of making the illusion of it's because they want to have affairs and stuff away from their spouses. Yeah. And I'm not saying you're not right.
It makes me think of the Office episode where they want to make a hookup closet.
Right.
That's what they're advocating for.
Exactly. And so I think the real anger and the real motivation for people to come after them, be in their LinkedIn comments, expose all of them for who they are, is because there is this entitlement to not only people richer than us, but people who have kind of controlled the way we live our lives. And a lot of us live our lives around the work we do. What time do I have to walk into this office? Well, I actually can't pick up my son because you said I can't do this. And there is that kind of rising tide of punching up democracy from the TikTok comments that I do think is just such a firm part of what the internet loves and loves to play in. And in this case, I do think we were kind of due for another anti-work villain this year. And I do think these two people are fantastic examples, right? Because let's be honest, they're middle-aged, they're white. We are questioning if this person actually deserves to be CEO, actually deserves to be HR. And those are questions that, look, all of us have had bad bosses that we legit are like, how did you get here? Yeah. And ask those questions. Yeah.
And now my question is, and then how did you get on the Jumbotron at the Coldplay concert?
Exactly. And that's going to be the question she asks in her next interview anyway.
Yeah.
Look, we spent this whole segment debunking misinformation, right? The question is, Kate, where can people get verified information?
Yeah, so I think the reason why it's tempting to go to all these other sources is because when it comes to what is actually verified and clear and the progress has been made, it's actually very little. So we know who they are. We do know it was an affair. We do know he has been fired. We don't know anything else. And so any other information you're getting from any other sources, I mean, I would be dubious because there's a very limited sort of channel or there's limited channels that are releasing any information about this, the main one being Astronomer, the company itself. That's who we're hearing all these updates from. And so they do have a very tight control over this narrative. And then randomly, while I was researching this episode, I want to give a shout out to Men's Journal because they have been following this and straight doing the reporting and debunking statements and making calls and emailing Astronomer and getting all this stuff to parse apart what is real, what is fake. And it was a really big resource. So go to Men's Journal.
I mean, look, they cover men's issues. You know what's one of their biggest issues? Cheating.
I was going to go Coldplay listening.
Okay, that's the show. We'll be back in your feed on Saturday, so definitely subscribe. That way, you never miss an episode. Leave us a rating and a review in Apple or Spotify, and tell your friends about us. You can follow us on Twitter at ICYMI_pod, and you can always drop us a note at ICYMI@slate.com.
ICYMI is produced by Vic Whitley-Berry, Candice Lim, and me, Kate Lindsay. Daisy Rosario is our senior supervising producer. Mia Lobel is Slate's executive producer of podcasts, and Hillary Fry is Slate's editor-in-chief. See you online.
But not on the Coldplay Kiss Cam.
Want to live better? We've got a lot of work to do. Join Chris Hemsworth in National Geographic's new Disney Plus original series, Limitless. Live Better Now. I'm diving headfirst into cutting-edge science to uncover 3 powerful secrets to living better right now. The growth that occurs through any challenging experience is really what we seek. Chris Hemsworth stars in Limitless. Live Better Now. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. It's showtime.
This episode is brought to you by FX's Alien Earth, the official podcast. Each week, host Adam Rogers is joined by guests, including the show's creator, cast, and crew, in this exclusive companion podcast. They will explore story elements, deep dive into character motivations, and offer an episode-by-episode behind-the-scenes breakdown of each terrifying chapter in this new series. Search FX's Alien Earth wherever you listen to podcasts.